Okay. Hello, Shravanthi. How are you?
Hey Roy, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. That's kind of funny because we've been talking with her for like the last 30 minutes. But here we are starting the YouTube video. I'm here with my wife, Allison,
Hey
and this
Allison.
is my good friend, Shravanthi. We work together at Adobe.
That's right.
And we, this is the first time we're doing a virtual podcast slash YouTube video. So thanks for being here virtually.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you guys, to talk about my experience with immigration and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's such an honor to have you on our show. So I think we would like to invite you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, like where
Mhm.
you're from and where you live right now.
Um, Hi everyone. My name is Shravanthi Manohar. I am from Bangalore, India, and currently I live in Utah, in the United States, in Salt Lake City. I've been working at Adobe for the past 4.5 years. I got a degree, my master's degree in the US in 2015. So yeah, I really enjoy hiking in the mountains here. It's just great to have found new friends, and it's a pretty good time to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. So what is the weather like there in Bangalore? Is it
Yeah,
somewhat similar to here? Is it always hot? What tell us about that?
yeah. Bangalore is India is a tropical country, and Bangalore has mild to hot weather. It never gets really cold, and the coldest temperatures are like 20 degrees Celsius. So,
So it never
which is
snows.
it never no, it's a tropical country,
Right.
and we only find snow up in the north near the Himalayas, or near the state of Himachal Pradesh. So I am from South India, and it's pretty much hot all year round, and we get the monsoons in June, around between June and August. So that's the rainy season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you close to the ocean or
No, we are in a landlocked place, and yeah, it's more, you could compare it with San Jose, the city, the way it's landlocked, and we have the Arabian Sea to the west and the Bay of Bengal to the east and Indian Ocean to the south, but this city is very much landlocked. There is no
okay,
ocean. Yeah.
okay.
And we have access to some hills nearby, which is, yeah, it's at a, this city is at an altitude, at a higher altitude than other, than you could say Chennai or Trivandrum, which is in Kerala, another popular destination in India.
Well, sweet. So is it it must have been quite a change of scenery coming here to Utah then.
Yes, yes. The first snow season, I remember it even now. It was just so exciting. I went out with my roommates, and we just were so excited to see it's to see the snowfall for the first time. And we grabbed our gloves and we said, "We're going to build a snowman. This is what we've been dreaming, or we've seen this in the movies. This is what we need to do." It was just so pretty. The first snowfall was the best, one of the best moments of my life.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So did you like go outside and you like put your head up and your mouth open? You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to taste it.
Yes. Yes, that was one of the first things that we did. And coming to Utah for the first time and seeing these mountains so up close, that was something that I'd never encountered before. Just the whole change of sceneries, and even the highways, the kind of roads, the coordinate system that Salt Lake City has. This was just so new to me.
Oh, like the blocks,
the
right?
the 00, the 0 south, the 100 south, the
Right.
block
Oh,
system, and yeah, and seeing the some of the huge the Mormon temple, that was quite a change of scene. Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome. That's
really
awesome.
exciting.
I can imagine that's a very uh, exciting experience. So, what is the most, maybe shocking is not the right word, what is the most uh, unforgettable experience? Like, I know that you just said, well, the snow to you, it was new, and then the mountains, and then how the street design was like a checkerboard. Those are all
Yeah.
new, but what is the most unforgettable experience for you when you first came and you just did not expect to have to see or hear that experience? What was it?
Um, so there was this one rewarding hike that I did on Big Cottonwood Canyon while hiking up to Lake Blanche. So I had heard about Lake Blanche, I'd seen the pictures, and everybody said it's a rewarding hike. But the it was my first time hiking such a it was a quite strenuous hike for me because I was not used to such physical activities, and then I endured it somehow. And then the vistas that welcomed me, the lakes, that was something I had never seen. The pristineness of the pristine nature, the views around me. It's hard to find something in urbanized places like in Bangalore unless you go 200 miles out of the city. Such views are just very rare sight. So
Okay.
being so close to nature in 15 miles or 10 miles when you drive around, that was something that was just
Yeah,
breathtaking.
you get in your car and it's 15 minutes up the road,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Well, up the mountainside, but
up the mountains. So it was
that's
just
cool.
so
I don't
pretty.
think I've ever been to Lake Blanche before.
Oh,
I've been to like Dog Lake and
Yeah.
Lisa Lake and stuff like that, but
secretly.
Secret Lake, yeah.
That's beautiful. So, Shrivanti, I just suddenly remember something that I would like you to talk about and share with our audience.
Mhm.
I I imagine your hometown, uh, the population density is probably a lot higher than here in Utah. And so,
Yes.
what was it like to when you first came to Utah and people were driving cars when they had to go to get groceries, they had to drive to the store to
Yeah.
get groceries, right? So, my personal experience coming from Taiwan was that we could walk
Mm-hmm.
to the corner of the street and there were general stores or supermarket. You can just walk there. You don't have to drive. And so
Right.
a lot of the people, especially from big cities like Taipei, Taipei is very much like New York.
Mm-hmm.
People don't drive, right? They
Right.
don't drive, they
Right.
just walk. And so, well, I learned how to drive when I was in Taiwan. So I didn't have a
Okay.
problem coming here. But
Mm-hmm.
I have some friends who moved to America from Taiwan. The
Mm.
first thing that they were forced to learn was not the language. It was
Mm-hmm.
they had to learn to drive. So I
Okay.
wonder if you have very similar experiences that you would like to share with us.
Sure. My experience has been a little different in the sense that when I came to Salt Lake City, I was living very close to the track station, close to the downtown area, and I was 10 minutes away from a train ride to the University of Utah, where I was studying for my master's, and 10 or 15 minutes away from the downtown on the other side. So with this tracks connectivity and the bus system being around, I was able to uh, just walk 2, 3 blocks to the uh, grocery stores, carry the stuff, take them in the train, and then walk another block. So as students, we did some hustling, and we didn't want to spend on Uber was not so popular back in 2013.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, we decided to just take turns. We were four of us roommates, so we used to take turns. We bought this kind of a trolley cart for ourselves, and we used to take that back and forth to the grocery store so that we didn't have to hail a cab ride or ask some of our other friends who had a car. So we just managed for the first 2 years. And then when I moved to the suburban part of Utah, which is Lehigh, that's when I decided that I needed a car because there was no public transport connectivity around. And that's when I seriously considered taking driving lessons. And yeah, I took lessons for 2 months, and then because I had no driving experience at all. I used to take the public transportation back in India. My parents don't own a vehicle even to this day. They rely on auto rickshaws or the bus every time they have to go out. So
Wow.
in that sense, owning a car is my first experience of having a vehicle of my own. And yeah, it's given me a sense of independence, and just I can plan my things, I can plan my day, I can drive myself wherever I want. It's just great in that sense. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So when you bought your car,
Hmm.
the first day, did you like call up your parents and you're like, guess what? I have my own car
Yes.
and you guys don't even have a car. You're
Yeah,
like,
they were pretty surprised. They were, even my husband, he actually, even he didn't own a car. He used to live in New York City at the time.
uh,
And he didn't own a car either. He still doesn't own a car. He's still a student at the City University of New York. So he was quite surprised when I decided to go buy a car, and he was like, are you sure you're going to be okay driving yourself, driving by
you're
yourself?"
like, hey, I am older now. I can drive a car. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and my parents were honestly so surprised that I was driving a car. I was managing everything on my own, coming here to an alien country. They had heard not, and they hadn't heard anything about the US. They were totally unaware of how things happen here, and yeah, they were taken by surprise.
Wow.
Wow.
So are they when you told them, were they like crying? They're like, oh, our big girl is now a grown up.
Yeah, my mom cries. She does have that, sense of pride and saying that, oh, my daughter, she's done so many things on her own. She used to. I never. There's never been a day that we used to sleep in the same room, and I was mollycoddled all the time. I was with
Oh, okay.
my mother and my father, and yeah, and they thought that I couldn't live without them, that I would just come running back in 6 months saying, mommy, daddy, I can't do this, I can't live
Right.
without you guys. But yeah, I
And you
managed.
showed them.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. I think we did meet them at your wedding, right? They
Yes.
came. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I
they
remember
did.
that.
Yeah.
Alice and I came to your wedding. That was
That
very
was their first trip to the US. And
okay
Oh, wow.
yeah,
to see
they
you guys
had
get married.
a culture shock in many ways. They were not used to the way they were surprised by the store, the Cabela's here. And my mom just loved the displays of wood and the wood articles around there. She had never seen any store like Cabela's before.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah, that is very interesting.
That's
Huh,
not like a store I would think of bringing my parents to the very first time. Hey, I want to
that's
take you guys
interesting.
to Cabela's. You
But
can buy
yeah,
weapons and
they,
yeah,
hunting equipment there.
yeah,
yeah,
I
she
can
was.
see that.
And I thought
Yeah.
that would be a different experience for them, just
Oh,
showing
for
such
sure.
a store where they have hunting and other equipment around, camping equipment, because the idea of camping is very alien in India. Nobody leaves the comfort of their home and goes into wilderness to camp. That's that's
Right.
a that's a very
You're like, that's
alien
such a
concept
foreign
for us.
idea. You're
Yeah.
like, you stupid Americans. They have it all. They have like these soft beds and these really nice pillows, and then you
Right.
go out into the woods and sleep on the ground. Are you
Right.
insane?
Yeah. So, Sharanti, I'm also interested, maybe more curious than anything else, is how the living conditions. So, like when you first came, you had roommates, you were renting an apartment and share with roommates, right? And so I'm
Yes.
assuming, because I've never been to your apartment, I don't know, you
Yeah.
probably have a bed and
Mhm.
then you sleep in your own bed. That concept, to me, when I first came to America, it
Mhm.
was new because where I grew up, we we didn't have a bed, we had a floor.
Oh,
And we had,
okay.
it's wood floor.
Mhm.
And every night before bedtime, my sisters and I, we had to mop the floor. We had to be on all fours. We had to kneel and,
Mm.
mop the floor, every square inch of
Mm.
the floor. Had to mop it real clean. And then we had to wait for it to dry. And then we had to put the futon, the bedding,
The
the
mattress.
pillows. Yes,
Mm.
there's no mattress at all. It was just,
Oh,
it
okay.
was hard. We slept on hard floor. And so coming to America, the first, when I first came, soft bed is like, this is heaven because it's so soft and you sink into the mattress and it's so comfortable. So I don't know if your home back home in India, was it similar? What did you have a bed? Or did you sleep on the floor like I did? Or was it a culture shock to you? Because to me, it was a culture shock.
Okay. We did have beds, but in summer it would be incredibly hot. We don't have air conditioning even to this day in our house. So the only choice is to sleep on the floor. So we used to roll this mattress made out of straw mattress, actually. And we used to roll the straw mattress and sleep on it without any bedding because it gets really, really hot in summer. So that was the way we would arrange our nighttime
Wow.
bedtime
So
arrangements.
would you just have like a sheet over you and that's it?
Yeah, you don't even need a sheet.
Oh,
It
okay.
would get really, really hot. We'd keep a bucket of water and turn on the ceiling fan so that the fan can keep us the air, the water can, you know, keep the
Cool
air
down.
cooler.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's on like a swamp cooler. It's
Yes.
the same
Interesting.
concept.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's what we do. Yeah, the bed we do have mattresses and beds, but summers are just a nightmare.
Yeah,
And
it's too brutal.
yeah.
So when I lived in Okinawa, it was a similar climate in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and we would have these little air. I can't think of the English word. Little fan. We had like a little fan, each one of us, and so
Mm-hmm.
I would put it at my feet because I didn't want the mosquitoes to eat my feet in the
Right.
night, and so it would like blow upward. Do you guys have like a mosquito problem down there?
Yes, a huge problem. We usually rely on the mats or the coils. So we have these liquid, they're called liquid mats. They're these machines with some liquid that keeps, it's like an air purifier. It
Uh-huh.
Because of that smell, the mosquitoes don't come near you. So you keep that running, or you burn these coils of, I don't know what they're actually made of, but these coils keep the mosquitoes away.
So it's
So we
almost like a
keep these
scented candle or something like that.
scented candle, exactly. Yeah.
Because
We have that
Allison, she
too.
had a net. They had like a
Oh,
mosquito net that they
yes.
would like sleep under.
Yes, definitely. We used to tie the nets to the mat. The bed had some kind of holding, I guess, the
Right.
support structure, and then we used to tie the mosquito nets to that as well. But even in
Yeah.
spite of the mosquito net, we'd run into some mosquitoes inside the net,
Would
entering our
sneak in.
net, sneaking
Oh.
in. So we had to keep
And
those.
then you're trapped in there with the mosquito and you're like, this isn't a buffet. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go and eat
mosquitoes.
my sister. I don't taste good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was the deciding factor in you coming to America?
Um, so one of the main reasons was to differentiate myself from, because in India you have every year you have at least 3 million engineers. There's
Oh,
no
wow.
dearth of engineers coming out of graduate institutions in India, and it becomes hard to differentiate yourself, and the opportunities are limited. So I wanted to um, broaden my horizon, look for opportunities globally, and a degree in the US would open doors to several such opportunities. So I decided to pursue a degree, come to
So
the US.
why the U.S. instead of say like the U.K. or Australia or something like that?
Yeah, I did consider these other countries, but at the time, I knew some friends who were also considering similar institutions in the US, and the US had more information. So there were these Facebook groups or other forums where you could find more information, and there was a lot of willingness from these institutions also to share information. So they would um advertise online, or they would have these stalls where they talk about their programs, their institutions. So the US, amount of information that we got about the US institutions were more than the information we got about UK or Australia. So since I had a few friends who were also in the same page, and they were also looking for opportunities to go abroad and study, and they had picked some US institutions, I decided that US was the place for me.
Nice. And how difficult was it to get into a master's um, in the States?
First, I had to take the GRE exam. So I had to prepare for the GRE exam, and then the TOEFL exam, which is the English speaking, reading, talking, and listening ability test. So yeah, a bit of preparation for these two tests, and then finding information about different programs in the US. So, but that was kind of easier because there were Facebook groups, there were other uh, friends whom I could connect with and learn about the programs and the institutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is English your native language?
English is not my native language. I speak Kannada and Telugu at home,
Okay.
and English is the medium of instruction in most schools in India.
Okay. So you
Yes.
go to school and all your teachers are speaking in English, and do
Yes,
they force
the
their
medium
students
of
to speak in
instruction is
English too?
English. You have English textbooks. You're
Okay.
also taught the regional languages along with English. So we learn three languages. So we learn the first language can be, I took Sanskrit, which is the ancient Indian language, as my first language of study in high school. And the second language was English, and my third language was Kannada, which is the regional language of the state where I come from, that is
Okay.
Karnataka. So we study all three languages, but my parents are not very conversant in English, so we'd mostly converse in Kannada or Telugu.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're the rising generation, your generation,
Mm-hmm.
almost everybody is fluent in English.
Yes, definitely. A majority of Indian population is fluent in English, or at least basic working English. Yeah.
That's amazing. You speak wonderful English. Your accent is almost non-existent.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, oh, you're amazing. So I have I'm wondering if you have ever had any experience since you've been in here in America for
Mhm.
5 years,
6 years almost. Yeah.
6 years.
Yes.
So during this time when you lived here in America, have you
Mhm.
ever had any experiences where you um, converse, you talk to Americans,
Mhm.
and they had maybe some kind of misconception or misunderstanding about your culture that you
Mhm.
wish they had known? Is there anything like that that you had experienced?
Um, I'm trying to think of such a situation. Um,
Like for example,
yeah,
I'll give you one. My
sure.
experience is like, of course, people were just joking, and but some of the people I talk to here in America, they would say, "Oh, you Chinese people eat dog." We don't eat dog. No. So
Okay.
something similar like that. Like people
Okay,
had the pre-existing misunderstanding, or maybe it
right.
wasn't a joke, but you wish that they would have known the truth. Like, oh, you know,
Okay.
have you ever had any experience?
Uh, this is, I don't know if that fits that, if this incident fits that description. Not an incident, this story, or where, I don't know what you call anecdote. So people, when they talk about Indian food, they talk about butter chicken or butter naan. And for me, that is not Indian food, because Indian food is much more diverse than that. And in South India, we have a whole new cuisine and a different way of cooking things. So Indian food is more than tikka masala or paneer butter masala.
Right.
So that's something that I would probably change, because India has variety of dishes, and we have idli, dosa, or poha for breakfast. So yeah, that's probably something that we can change about Indian food. Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, I never eat masala anything. That's all you Americans. We don't eat it. That's hilarious. So, you know, growing up here in America, like me, there's always stereotypes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was a little kid, I always thought that Indian people had a tattoo or a birthmark, the dot between their eyebrows or right
Right.
above their eyebrows or whatever
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
And so whenever I saw an Indian person, I was like, "Do you wear makeup over your dot? Where's your dot at?" Did
Yeah.
you ever encounter somebody saying something like that?
Yes. Yes, I did. I was at a dollar store near the university campus in Salt Lake City, and then I had this senior elderly person, and he was really nice. We just passed each other in the aisle, and I was probably looking for something, and he was like, are you looking for something? I can help you find it. And he was really nice, and then he said, are you a dot Indian?
A
Or
dot
another
Indian.
Indian?
Oh,
And I was
snap.
like, yes, I am the dot Indian. So he wanted to know whether I was a Native American or a Mexican or an Indian, and that was his way of confirming whether I belong to the subcontinent. But
That's
he was
funny.
really
I'd
nice.
never heard of that before. But
Dot
yeah,
Indian.
I could see some Americans saying that because we have the Native Americans that we call Indians. So they're like,
Right.
to distinguish, you're the
Yes.
dot Indian. Oh, that's so funny. I hope that's not offensive.
No, no. So the dot, the we call it the bindi. It's worn by all Hindus to respect the chakra or the god residing in here. That, at least that is the belief that we have in our household. So that's what the
Wow.
dot signifies.
And how often do you wear it?
We wear it all the time. So my mom, she wears that after taking her bath, and she has that all all through the day, throughout the night.
Oh, so like every day.
So
Okay.
it's like every day, and that's her way of connecting with the spiritual being, or it. And she does this as a cultural thing also. Yeah.
Okay. So it'd
So
be somewhat similar maybe to like the Christians that wear the
cross.
cross necklace.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Right. And my mom, she would scold me sometimes when we Skyped with each other. She'd say, "Why don't you wear the dot to your work? Why are you? You're not a Christian. You're a Hindu. You're supposed to be wearing the dot." And then I'd be like, but I just feel self-conscious when I wear it, because I feel like people are looking at me or the dot, and
Got you.
yeah, it's just a personal preference. But I've seen some of my coworkers wearing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll see somebody wearing it. And
Yeah,
so that's why I thought it was kind of like on a special occasion or something like that.
yeah. It's actually worn, or we decorate our forehead with the dot every day,
Okay.
and
So do
especially
you think you
during.
become more lax the longer you've lived here in America? Like when you first came, you put it on all the time, and now you do it less frequently.
I went to a convent school in India. My mom, my parents sent me to a Christian convent school, and the rules were very lax. So they did not encourage us to wear dots. So I just wanted to fit in with the other girls, and I used to hate wearing the dot. Even though my mom used to shout at me, I used to be like, no, I want to be like those other cool kids. I don't want to wear the dot.
Yeah.
But I've heard that some schools do mandate girls and boys wearing the dot in the schools. They're
Oh, okay.
primarily more Hindu affiliated, but yes. I went to a convent school, so I didn't have to wear the dot for my school. But after coming home, I'd put on the dot for the puja or the arti. And yeah, I used to do that. While at home, I am compelled to wear the dot. That's the
Gotcha.
case in our home.
You're like, it makes my mom happy, so
Yes.
I wear it.
Oh wow. So this is gonna make you think I'm very stupid, but I think I was just misled. So when I was a kid, I I think I read it in a book about the dot that
Mhm.
Indian people put on their head. It's it's a symbol to or a representation of a person who's married. It's like here in America, people will,
Mhm.
when they get married, they will start wearing their wedding
Ring,
ring, right, to
right.
represent or to send out the message that I'm married.
Mhm.
And so I read in the book that the dot on the forehead in
Mhm.
India, to that's to represent a woman who is married. And so
Yes, you
oh that, that's
you've not you've read it correctly, because in some North
oh
Indian cultures they do wear the dot after they get married, but
oh
the sign that a woman is married is when she has some vermilion in her on her forehead between the parting in the hair. So that's called sindoor,
oh
and that's the sign of a married woman in almost all cultures in India, north, south, east, and west. It's mostly the sindoor, the mang, and the batu, yeah, the bindi. Both
Huh.
are symbols of
interesting.
married women.
There we go.
Oh, okay. So I learned half the truth.
Yep.
So that is
So
so fun.
what other? So when you came to America, you went to the University of Utah, and then
Mhm.
you got a job at Adobe. Um, have you encountered any hurdles staying here in America? Like, I don't know. I guess I got ahead of myself. Was there ever a point when you were here in America, when you were going to school, when you were in your profession, where you're just like, man, this America is not all that it's baked up to be. I'm gonna go back home. You know?
Yeah, the current situation actually, since 2017, the immigration rules have been changed a lot. There are more stricter policies, and uh, things don't seem to be going as smoothly as it did before that. So even it takes longer to get your work visa, to get your work visa extended. I had to wait for almost 9 months to get my work visa extended
Okay.
for a period of 3 years. And so there are times where life in the US feels very uncertain, and I wish I had known more I'd known about this before I um, had applied for studying in the US. I wish I had learned more about immigration, or even working for a certain period of time in other countries and learned about the rules. Yeah, but things do keep changing. So this is one thing that I wish I'd prepared for, and not just um, taken for granted that, yes, I will be working here for some time and I can work on a work visa, but I did not take into account how long it takes, and what you have to be prepared with a plan A or a plan B if things don't fall in place. Yeah.
Gotcha. So when you came to America the first time, did you said some of your friends were coming to America. Were
Yes.
your roommates, were they Americans or were they from India also?
My roommates were from India.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I
So
had
you didn't have like these crazy American roommates and you're just like, why are you doing this or something like that?
I had one roommate from Nepal. So that was the only time where I had this experience of living with a person who's not from my country. So
Okay.
I learned a little bit about her culture, her language, and her cooking habits or the kind of cuisine that they have. It's very similar to northern India, but it was a whole new experience for me.
Okay.
And they had these their own customs and traditions, and it was really interesting to share all these things with her.
And how was it becoming accustomed to the American accent?
Um,
Or maybe you could even go so far as to say the Utah accent.
I honestly don't really know how Utah accent is. I can't differentiate between the American and Utah accent
Oh yeah,
to be
perfect. We're
to
not
be
all Hicks.
specific. But I was used to it from a long time back in India because we were watching Friends, we were watching How I Met Your Mother on our. So we had Star Movies channel, HBO,
Oh
airing
yeah,
all
TV.
these
I hadn't even thought about that.
sitcoms back in, I think, 2009, 2010. And then with the internet, it was all the way easier to watch American shows, movies, English movies, learn about American culture. Friends was the closest that I got to know about American culture, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. I want to just live by myself. I want to be in this city, in the New York City, and go to the what's the cafe's name?
I don't
The
Oh,
know.
I
I don't
never
watch
watched
Friends.
Friends. I watched
Okay,
Seinfeld, but not Friends. So I'm sorry, but I can see how that could be like very I don't know if romantic is the word, but like
yes,
you're like, yeah, I want to be just like those
yeah. I
people,
had
just
a
by
the
myself, have a
romantic
bunch of
worldview
friends, and
of
hang
America,
out
life
in the
in America.
cafe after work and stuff like that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So would you say that that was your American dream?
Yes, that was
Oh
my
wow.
American dream.
Yeah.
Friends, and then we that was the time we were introduced to Domino's Pizza, McDonald's, Starbucks. And the first Starbucks that opened in Mumbai was such a rage. Everybody wanted to go to Starbucks.
Huh.
And that was the time where cafes were opening up, baristas, bistros in Bangalore. And I was like, if this is the reception in India, then I'm sure in America this will be like the culture there, the norm. Because here this was just a special thing. It was a novel thing, a luxury thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with that said, you come to America and how was it? What did it live up to your dream or were you like devastated? You're like, no, they don't
Yeah.
do that here.
Utah was certainly very different from what I had seen on Friends, and because that was set in New York City and things
Right.
were happening and bustling. It was always so there were people all around partying, and I assumed that I would also be partying after coming to the US. But yeah, Utah was certainly a whole different world here because
So are are you in some way like, oh, I should have gone to some other school, I missed it, or were you happy with the
I
place?
was happy. I was happy here. Yeah, the friends that I had made here, I think it was the peers, the comfort of being with these friends. We went through the same things, and that would kept me sane through the years of schooling.
Cool. Cool.
So I would think that you have been here for 6 years and you have absorb the culture, the language, the people, and all the different, uh, the custom here in America. If you had a chance to talk to a group of teenagers in India, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they invite you to a school, a high school, to talk to those children, would you recommend them to give America a try for their future? Because I know that America promised a future that will be different than what India will promise these
Mm-hmm.
young people. So, with your experience and the wisdom you have gained by living here, would you recommend the young generation in India to maybe give America a try, or would you recommend them to stay home, stay in India because India has more to offer?
I definitely tell them to try America because it will expand your worldview. It will just it was here in America that I met people from various backgrounds, from various cultures and different languages than I did back in India. Because I was living with my parents. I was in this city, Bangalore, all my life for 22 years. Um, I would say give America a try. Try to learn about what it has to offer, and then you can decide. And I would definitely say that the social mobility in America is still better than what India has to offer.
What do
And
you mean
because
by social mobility?
when I say it's the social class, so in India, if you are lower middle class, you're bound to be in lower middle class, and even the wages, the salaries are not that great. But in America, you can expect to at least improve your situation by working hard, by being passionate about something, or by getting a degree and showing some improvement. And uh, just yeah, I think hard work can improve your life in America, and you can see yourself moving to the middle class from a lower middle class pretty quickly than in India.
Oh, okay.
That's
So,
what I have experienced, at least.
Wow,
awesome.
that's
So you're
interesting.
not stuck in your social circle. You can, in
Yes,
America, you feel like you can get outside of that, and
yes, there are
your
opportunities.
intellect and your hard work can determine where you
Yes,
land, rather than
I feel more hopeful and optimistic about the opportunities here. Definitely, India is also improving in terms of those opportunities, but there is a lot more. There are a lot of people. There's a lot more competition, and opportunities are not uh, huge enough to meet the demands of a huge pool of talented people.
got you.
So that is the reason that some people look outside of India.
Huh,
Wow.
that's cool. So,
So in that sense, America is a land of opportunity. That is true,
Yes,
right?
it
Because
is.
America
it still
offers.
is that way to you.
It is still that way. That's what I think. Yes.
Okay. So we had
Amazing.
talked about this a little bit at work, but had you ever thought of, when you came to America, of dating like an American, a non-Indian?
I did. I used to fantasy. It was in my fantasies that I should date someone American.
Okay.
Um,
Did you ever go out on a date with an American?
Unfortunately, it didn't happen. One person asked me out, and I was just too shy or just too nervous to. I had just been in the U.S. and he was like, "Hey, we're going out to this party. Do you want to come with me? And then we can just hang out." And I was like, sorry, I'm not sure." I was really awkward, but yeah, if I were to do it all over again, I would definitely consider that opportunity.
You try.
Yes.
When, before you came to America, did you ever have like a boyfriend or a serious relationship?
No, I come from a very conservative household where dating is seen as a foreign Western influence, Western culture, and that's frowned upon.
Oh, wow.
So it is a very it's seen in a very negative light. Even
Dating.
now, dating is very negative. So the concept of having a boyfriend, dating is just a taboo in from the household, conservative household that I come from. So my
Okay.
mother was very apprehensive of sending me on my own, and she was like, "What if you find someone who does not belong to our caste, our religion, and
Right.
who partakes meat and who partakes alcohol and meat?" Because
Right.
we're a vegetarian family.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
we're
bet she's
vegetarians.
like seen movies in America and be like, those people are heathens. I mean, they eat meat and they get drunk all the time and they take drugs. You're
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh,
her
my
idea.
baby, I can't let you go there.
She wanted to control my marriage, my career, and everything. And I was like, these are two things that are very precious to me. And this is something that I need to decide and I need to control. And I had to take those decisions in my hand. Yeah.
Wow.
So would it be correct to say that maybe your culture or the social expectations will not accept a relationship, an interracial relationship?
Yes, that's true. Yeah. It's, I would say they don't accept an intercaste relationship because we have these castes in India.
Right.
And if an upper caste marries a lower caste person, that is still seen as a very bad thing in the society. And
Wow.
yeah, and
So,
sorry, I was going to say that one of my cousins married a Muslim who is an interreligious marriage, and their parents and the whole family has cut ties from this girl who got married into the other
wow,
family. Yeah.
Wow.
wow, that was serious. And
Wow.
Mm.
You know, sometimes that happens in America, right? Like where, say, if the family were Catholic or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then one person in their family decided to convert to become a Mormon or a Latter Day Saint, you know, they would be
Right.
like, "Oh, no son of mine will ever, you know, join some cult like that," and they'll like, "Don't ever come back."
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never met anybody like that, but I've heard of it.
Yes.
So
That's very
that can
analogous to
be
this
scary.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow,
it happens less frequently.
yeah,
But you had a similar situation like that too, I guess, some way.
yeah. But maybe we should
Reserve
invite,
that for another time.
yes, maybe we should invite Shravanti back for part two, and then we can focus on relationships in our next episode.
Yeah. So, did you have any final questions?
Oh, I think we have.
This has been so great.
I
We could
Yes.
know,
sit here
right?
and talk for hours.
I know
I
it's so
know.
fun to talk with you, and we are very, very interested in inviting you back.
Okay.
Maybe you have your husband get on the show too, and then we can devote an entire episode to talking about relationships, how it's different
Absolutely.
here and how it's different in India. I think it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you so much again for having me on the show, the
Well, thank
podcast.
you so much,
Yeah.
and we really appreciate it. Of course, I'll see you at work whenever we go back to work.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to the day where we all go back to work and we're out of the
We can get out of
COVID-19
the house.
situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Shravanti,
Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
and
It's eye-opening.
Thank
It
you,
really is.
Allison and
thanks so much.
Roy. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Well,
Have
you.
a
we'll
good
talk to
night.
you later.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right.